Hi everyone, TigerHawk23. We're going to code some Python today. If you saw the previous Python segment, you will remember that it ended poorly a bit. I accidentally wiped the file that we had been creating. Turns out what I did was I had removed the the print calls from the main program, and then I forgot to just run it ordinarily. Instead, I ran it redirecting the output again, and it redirected the output into the file that I had just finished writing, and then it was gone. So that's that. But I made it again, so now there's that, and we will have some bugs to go through. So let's do that. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with running it. And then you can see it doesn't work. Dict object has no attribute name on line 57. 57 d.name. That is because that's not the format. That's the format for an object. But what we have is a dictionary here, not an object yet. We are going to create an object with this. So here I have to do d name. Alright. That should work better. I've actually already tested this on my own, so I know this won't work either. But let me show you what happens. Malformed node or string. ast.binOp object. So, that's when ast.literaleval can't understand what I'm talking about. This particular case, it's something that the ordinary eval would be able to handle just fine, but I don't want to use it because an expression you may have heard is eval is evil, because it evaluates expressions, and if an expression happens to have a side effect of executing some code or function that you may not want, that could be bad. So if you're getting code from what's called an untrusted source, someone could decide to be funny and wipe your hard drive with eval, because you can import, OS and just have it send a regular terminal command to recursively remove everything in the root directory. It's bad. That's why we don't use eval unless we really, really need to, and we really know that it will be okay to use. But be very careful. So for this, it's something that is fine with literal eval. So I will show you what's up with that. Now we have, let me show you clicker gear. Okay, here we have constructs like this is a string. Each line is a dictionary. And we have a string here and a string there. Strings are fine. A list of a string is fine. But no, it's not fine. This stuff. It can't do expressions like that. Only literal objects. And I will demonstrate this. Let me get that up here. Clear that out a bit. Okay. So let's say we import ast.literal eval 3 gives us the number 3, because that's what it is. And how about 3 times 2? No, because that's an expression, not a literal. A literal would be 6. So this is not alright. And multiplying a list doesn't work any better than multiplying a number. So what we have to do here is we have to change all these multiplied lists into list literals. So, easy way to do that. I'm going to search for this in normal mode. Can't see the extra window. I'm just going to be searching for every time I multiply something. So here's one. An easy way to do this is pop it into an interpreter. And that's it. This is the string we're going to use. And there is an extra carriage return that we don't want. But that's that. And we have this times 5 and that times 5. So we're going to put this into there as well. I said we're going to put this into there as well. Alright. Do-de-do, and then we replace that. And yes, this will be larger, but keep in mind that it would have been larger anyway. This list multiplication was just a shortcut for testing to give us some kind of dummy values. Ordinarily, these will have preset values, actual things that are all different, to say something interesting or useful in some way. Did I take out the PowerShell window? What I could also do is I could just evaluate the whole dictionary in each one, but I'm gonna go with this for now. Limit 5, okay. Descriptions, these are gonna be a whole bunch of these. Let me automatically generate this, right? I don't think so. What I can actually do is here's what I may do. Okay. Let's make sure I have that. Change directory to F documents Python scripts. Hope this works. I think it did. So what I just did there was this is the command to change the current working directory, and this is the command to get the current working directory, and it's correct. So let's see. For each line in this file, I want to eval it, and I know in this case that it is acceptable because I wrote it myself. So I'm going to use eval, and that will expand each of those lists. And I'm going to write a file, open gear expanded.txt, and I need to do that in write mode as output, and open clickergear.txt as f. I'm not going to say as input because input is a function and I don't want to mask that. There are ways to re-import built-ins to get those back, but it's annoying, so I'm not going to do that to myself. As f. For line in f, output.write, string of eval the line, string right, this plus a new line. because that's not included by default in the representation of a dictionary. All right. Will that work? Who thinks that'll work? I think it will. Trace back. Invalid syntax. What did I do wrong? Digital clicker has invalid syntax somewhere. What did I do? Five times 10 to the 8, etc. Oh, I don't have costs. There we go. Can you see that? Not really. Didn't have a costs. It was just a list there by itself, and this, it was in the wrong place. I did it manually. Whatever. This is why we have tracebacks. It's fine. So I'm gonna save that. PowerShell. So this stuff here, the return value of output.write is or an open file handle in write mode .write is the number of bytes that were written. And there we go. There you have it. So seems fine to me. And I'm gonna have it do this again. Very good. And now I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to open that file. If I can find it, I better find it. Open it up with Notepad. All right. Seems good. Seems very expanded. Extremely expanded. All right. So I will change this to go through, what line was it, 57? Right. Literally val line, and I want clicker gear expanded. And I can always change this around, it's fine. And I want to run that, see what happens. No. Power gear is not defined. Oh. Line 62. For gear and this, gear.multiplier, gear.powergear, gear.empowers, gear.synergy unlocked. Okay, so the synergy building turns into a lookup of that string. Okay. And now we run it again. Oh my god, it did not crash yet. Check it out. Click and click, and I cannot purchase these things yet. Works fine. Click, 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 blah, blah, blah. Clicks. And was it R? Yes, I'm now refunding, and I can refund that, and that works, and I'm now purchasing again. And I don't remember what other keybind I had. What did I do exactly? Oh, C to show me the cumulative clicks. 41. Very good. So it only took like, what, an hour and a half to get this feature working. That's fine. But now it's beautiful. And we got to do manual stuff, and we got to go over it in Python, and we got to use eval. You saw a good use for eval, because I did want to evaluate into literals, basically. Technically, I should have used, when I did, let me close this and get rid of those. Over here, when I did string over here, technically I should have used string, is what's called when you print something. while repro is what's called when you return the object. It's what string is supposed to be, the underscore underscore str underscore underscore magic method, is what gets called when you send something to print. Like if you have an object that has a string method, it's the Java equivalent of toString, or the Python equivalent of Java's toString. So that can be just any nice looking string representation of the object, while repro is technically intended to be something that you can send to eval and get a copy of that object. Now the primitive objects by default have basically string methods that describe the object. There's no extra fancy stuff, it's just basically the repro, because they figure they don't know what you want your data to look like. And by they, I mean Python designers. But you can define these things for your own objects. Here's one example. Class A will have definite self, and that'll be just pass about, and def string. Now string, this underscore underscore str underscore underscore has to return a string. So let's do that. Return string. REPR. Now let's give it a repro that isn't actually very good. Let me bring this to the middle. And that would be return. This also has to return a string. Repro. Note that repro is not something that you could send to eval to reproduce this object. Definitely not. So now let's say A equals A, B equals A, print A. And it says string, because that's what the str magic method has. We said print, and that gets the string method for that object. But if I don't print, the Python interpreter by default, if you enter an expression, or if it has something that it returns from somewhere to the top level, the global scope, it will put something to standard output. Now, what gets sent to standard output is the repro contents. Repro. And if you have a list, when you print a list, you get the string representation of the list. Now the string representation of a list will print, itself with the open bracket, etc. But it prints the repro of each contained object. If you unpack each of these things and send them to print, then you are sending each object in it to print by itself, not wrapped in a list. What fun! So there's that. I don't know what my point was there, but that's okay. Let's see. What am I doing now? Purchase toggle. It's working. Is the deal. So yeah. And I don't have all of this stuff. I'm going to save this as clicker gear old. And this I'm going to save as regular clicker gear. I want to replace, yes, very good, thank you. Now we can take this out of there and save. I'm going to run once more and it's fine, blah blah blah. Okay, great. Alright, so that was fun with the string and repro. So yeah, that is why I should have used REPR instead of STR when I generated that new file. But for these purposes, it turned out the same because they have a string method that also gives a reproducible representation of the object. Fantastic. Where are we? What's going on? Maybe I can do things. Let's see. I fixed that. I did that. Achievements? Probably not today. Maybe some content. That might be fun. We've got achievements and a building to increase CPS per achievement. Maybe. That'll be more like an upgrade, not a building. Something that'll an upgrade to allow me to periodically unlock new buildings or upgrades. That'll be larger. Golden cookies, also large. Oh no, unlock buildings upgrades. Oh, I know what this is. In Cookie Clicker, the game does not begin with every possible button displayed. It only shows things when you are able to purchase it at a certain point. And we don't have that right now. So let's see. I could put something in update conditions. That's just an interface thing that I can change later when I feel like it. How about clicker gear? How about let's add stuff. Okay, what's the last one I have? Blu-ray. Let's add a USB flash drive. Name. Let's actually have it the same format. Costs is, this is a big number. Oh, no, I don't have my nice little exponentiated things. It's just a large integer literal. Great. But it has to be like this, or else people could create data input files. This thing over here. And can I point to it this direction? This stuff up over here. Now I'm pointing to the content. Hilarious. This thing. People could create this file in a way that is harmful and then say, I made a mod, etc., blah blah blah, and then someone goes and runs it and it uses eval and their computer is dead. That's bad. So this way is much harder to make someone's computer dead. Think. This is 3. How about 1 and then an extra 0? Okay. Per second is 440. Why does it say only 440? That's odd. Per second only 400. What? And this is which one? Blu-ray. array costs 3 times 10 to the 10 per second. 4 times, oh, it's 4 times 10 times 11. Whoops. Should have been 4 times 10 to the 11. Whoops. That would have been fun. And modify that here too. Now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put it into Python, and I'm going to get the literal representation of that. This right over here. That's better. Indeed. This has to be more than 3 1/3 times as much. So 12, how about 20? Okay. Tips. Will be gonna need name and description. Name. I'm gonna populate this first. And then this, and then descriptions. I don't know why there's a space over here, but there is. Descriptions are a thing that there could be several of. No? Nope. Just same thing, and they'll buy more. Right. Very good. Cost per second, tips, descriptions, name. Okay. Tips, name, descriptions. All right. And we gotta remember to close that. Cool. Oh, tips has to be a list. That's right. Let's do description first. Descriptions. No, name. USB flash drive. And we will have store rewritable clicks %d and 0. Cool. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay. Tips. Smaller than your thumbnail. Yeah. These things really are getting tiny. Remember when they were like this big? Now they are this big. This object. Can you see that? Yeah. This thing. Very small. Here's a better sized one. Better colored one. This. See? You can see that? See? Way too small. How are you supposed to keep track of that? I don't know. Today I saw a business card type thing, kind of thick plastic though, and you get the card, and you like fold it, you break it in half, and a connector pops out. There's a USB flash drive in there with the movie. It was like, wow. So that was interesting. Yeah. Shockproof. That's good. I once found a flash drive, this one actually, in a parking lot. And yes, it had been squished. And yes, I used pliers to straighten it out. And yes, it worked fine afterward. So that was pretty amazing. Alright, so there's one of those. How about, what's the next one? Hard drive. Let's get the cost done with first. 5 and then zeros. Per second is 5 times as much is that, and then we change this to 10 or more. How about 15? Not yet. Name was hard drive. Descriptions is a list, and then close the dictionary. Looks good. Terabytes of clicks. How about aging? No, I won't say it's aging. For when you need many clicks. I forgot this dealie. It's important. There. Here's a little history fact. Tape drives, if you're familiar with those. If you're not, I'm sure you're familiar with cassette tapes and VHS. Tape drives are, not were, a similar way of storing data. It's just magnetic tape. Drawback is they can be very, very slow, because if you are at the beginning of the reel and you want to seek to find data that are at the end of the reel, bzzz, you know, be kind, rewind, so you have to wait for it to go all the way to the end. But advantage of tape drives is if you drop them, they don't shatter into a million pieces. And they can hold a lot of data nowadays. They're still used. It's still a thing. For backups that aren't going to be accessed all the time, they're actually still useful because they have lots of storage capacity, and if you're carrying the latest batch of tapes to the other storage room or whatever and you drop it, it's okay. So that's still a thing. Let's see, hard drive, server rack. Per second, something, tips, something else, name, server rack, descriptions, and this, and the thing. Okay. Descriptions, provide clicks, retrieve clicks from the internet. And really just ordinary computers. And that is what they are. You can use your home PC as a server if you want to set it up that way. Google actually had its first server room be just a bunch of ordinary PCs, beige boxes that they kind of set up with like a whole bunch of cables, and you can like go on the internet and find pictures of this. I think they like preserved it in a museum or something, their first server setup, but it's it worked, and I mean that's about it. Before they were quite as big as they are now, but it was still serving a lot with just a few computers. Very effective. Costs. Let's get that in there first. And how about, let's slap another 0 in there. And we have to slap another 0 in here. And let's change this to 30. Make it bigger. I don't know. Really don't know. In theory, I think the costs should grow much faster than the per second. It should get more efficient than the previous building, but it should not pay for itself in 1 second or less. And that's what they're doing right now. That's okay. Balance pass is later. I don't really have... There we go. Wanted to move that up to the middle, and now I have. So, costs, and there's a thing, and per second is a thing. I hope you all like these history lesson dealies, because I am providing them. Tips, something, name is, what do I have as a name for the next one? Ooh, robot. Yeah, robot. Descriptions is this thing, and the what's it. Robot is the Czech word for slave. This term was coined for this context in a Czech play in the 1910s, 1920s, somewhere around there. And it was about robots in a factory, mechanical slaves, and that's the word we've got, because it's kind of what they are. They are ideal slaves because they don't care. Now let's say about a description of mechanical arms to transfer clicks. I don't know. I really don't know. Beep boop. That is what robots say. So yeah. How about twice? And more than twice would be about 10. I don't know. That's fine. One more. Let's actually just copy it and paste it, and then I can change bits. Yeah. Let's add a 0 and add a 0 and change this to a 2. And this will have to be different. And this will be different, and that will be different. Cool. Cool. Here we are. Cyborg. That's short for cybernetic organism. So it's a life form that involves cybernetics, which means electronics or, you know, mechanical things, inorganic stuff. Boosted Borg to click for you. That's too close to Borg. Let's just do cyborg. No Borg to assimilate us here. The Berg will be assimilated. Tips. How about, what can we say about a cyborg clicking for you? Why is he doing this? I don't know, but it's a good question. Actually, actually, let's copy the previous one, because then we can work with the numbers. 1, let's multiply it by 10 again, and by 10, and make that a 3. And this next one is, got a theme here, Android. And an Android description would be, looks almost human, but is really good at clicking. And let's say it's a female android, like Lal from Star Trek, that one episode where Data tried to reproduce to create an android in his image, but he made a female one, or he made one, and then she decided that she was female, which is cool. She wanted to. That was a sad episode because she her positronic brain underwent cascade failure. Very sad. They could not save her. She clicks just for you. All right. I think I only have 2 more content things planned. 5 times as much. Instead of 15, how about 20? The name of this one is should I put in the name first? This one's kind of funny. Descriptions. Hyper intelligent shade of the color blue. I'm not sure. Ooh, that's a problem. This is a problem too. All right. Syntax highlighting would have been good in this, but it's just a text file. Oh well. I'm not sure how it's clicking. Really not. Not sure at all. I'm checking for other single quotes that I failed to escape, but I think we're good. We are all set for that. Let's save this and go back to this, which is not significantly different. Let's actually run it. That's wrong. Something's wrong here. Let me show you what's wrong. Server something. Oh, maybe it's somewhere in here. Let me delete all these extra lines. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Nope. Okay. The one with server rack. Where's that? Really just ordinary computers. Okay, let's check the line above. Oftentimes, the actual problem with a syntax error is time to learn about syntax errors. Syntax errors may show up because you did something wrong on a particular line, but the interpreter points out the subsequent line because the only problem with the prior one was that it wasn't done. One extremely common example of this is when you miss a closing parenthesis. If you do that, Python just assumes that you weren't done writing that line, and it says, okay, well, keep reading that logical line on the next physical line. And then it sees something that's like a whole new statement or something, and it's like, whoa, what's this? You can't put a statement inside this, function call. That doesn't work. You didn't want to put a statement inside the function call. So it's not the statement that's wrong. It's the function call in the line prior. You did not complete it. So let's check this out. Tips, cost, tips per second, etc. Name is that. Description is this. Oh, too far. Terabytes of clicks, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we are. And that is why I should have been copy-pasting instead of writing it manually. Automatically generate is the best, followed by copy-paste, followed by doing it manually. Now we run. What'd I do wrong? Which one is incorrect? Which one? These should be fine. Has to be one of the ones we added afterward. It would be nice if it said which one, but it's not. Okay. Alright. Let's open PowerShell, take out the command window, and let's go backwards. ast.literal eval, not that, eval, this. Invalid syntax. That's bad. Okay. Oh, I must have... What did I do wrong? ast.literalEval, something, one of these. This, and an escape. Oh, maybe I don't need an escape when I do that. I'm not sure. Nope. Here's what I will do. I'm going to look for backslashes. Where is it? No, those should be fine. Backslashes should be fine, because it's pointing out the ones in one of the earlier lines, and it didn't have a problem with that. Must be something else that I did wrong. So this last one is bad. What did I do wrong in it? There's the quote. Ah! There's another one. Epic fail. Good thing I started from the last one, huh? Get these out of here, this over there, and let's try again. Happen again. Okay. Yeah. Let's try again. This, and that, and there, invalid syntax. Okay, the previous one was wrong as well. Let's find out what. No, no. This is slightly frustrating. Here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, no, this is wrong. I already found it. This and that. And this as well. Needs a... wow. I fail. Oh, I had it in all of them. Problem with copy-paste. If you copy-paste something incorrect, then they're all wrong. Okay, let's try that again. Just work. Thank you. Come on, just do what I mean. DWIM. It is a thing. You can Google it. Do what I mean. Come on, computer, do what I mean. So there we go. There we have it. And we have all manner of buildings that are too large for the thing. Let's see. Note that there are no commas here. So let's actually change a feature. In this, turn that off. We want, I'm going to search for percent. Where do we find that? Percent gear cost. Aha. So there we have it. Gear cost is going to go to self.number formatter gear cost. Alright. Let me close and rerun. Nope, something wrong. Oh, a number is required, not string. Are you kidding me? %d. Okay. %s. So now it's already going to be a string. Number formatter gear per second, because this number formatter returns a string. So everywhere we have a %d, because it's expecting a digit, is wrong. So let's go through clicker gear, and I'm gonna search and replace %d to %s. Let me just find them, make sure it's, you know, what I expect. Okay, replace everything, 63 of them, very good. Let's save that, and let's save this, and let's run. Alright, this is why I am pleased, because it worked. Alright, 5.0e plus whatever. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Where is that? I think it's somewhere in the bounding box for the, you know, width. Here we are, width of the thing. About 700. Can you see? No. I changed this to 700. That's the size of the bounding box. Let me run it again. That's a little better. Okay. Very cool. So now there's lots more room, and there's nice formatting in there. Very nice formatting, and that's pretty good. Wow, I've spent a long time adding content and then making it not broken. But at least I didn't wipe a file this time, so I feel special for not yeah. Last time the end was kind of abrupt, I realize. I was not happy. Why is it gone? Stream's over. Goodbye. But looks like this is working properly. Let's add one more item. My last planned thing. It'll be about 20. So let's add a 0 and make this 10. By 20 would be changes to a 4 and add a 0, and it has to be more. So how about 10? That's many things. This is gonna be fun. Hacker. Hack yourself some clicks. Feels like cheating, but isn't. Okay, that was easy. And let's run this again. I failed something. C. Oops. Indeed. Well, okay. Any more? Alright. Let's try again. Oh, end of file while parsing. Alright. It did not like the extra character returns. That's bad, because it's saying for line in file, and so it's going through each line, and sometimes all there is in a line is a line feed. That's bad. Don't want that. It's no bueno. Let's get rid of the thing behind over there, and this odd effect where it kind of looks like it's going into warp space as I scroll quickly is that's just Python. It's it does that naturally. It's not because of streaming or encoding or anything. Do not adjust reset. That over there, did you see? That, there was a big one. Here's a feature of the scroll bar. Notice how I can click here and scroll, and I can go all the way over here. Oh, no. Oh my god, no I can't. Lame. Okay, I guess this particular scroll bar is, I guess the scroll bar widget does that. I thought it wouldn't, but it does. Anyway, many applications, they think they're helping if you are holding a scroll bar and you go too far, and they jump back to where you were and they kind of deactivate until you go closer. And it's actually very few programs that like forgot to add that feature and let you scroll from wherever you are, anywhere on the screen. I much prefer the latter, because it doesn't require me to you know, stay in a perfectly vertical line when I want to scroll. I mean, if I'm still holding down on the scroll bar, I would like to be able to be a little farther away, like, right? As long as I move it up and down. I don't know. I don't know why the standard is to stop the scroll bar if you're too far. I mean, if I wanted to stop scrolling, I would let go of the button, right? Are we with me on this? Yeah? But, anyway, so it's working. And that's good. Can I still buy things? That's important to test now and again. Strength is 3, now it's 4, indeed. Lots of strength with the what's it. Oh, I can't afford click boosters. Now I can. I'm at the maximum. Many clicks, and I could also do this, where is it, percentage of CPS to the clicks. And I could, isn't there something to add buildings to clicks? I don't even remember. Mobsters? A mobster to get a take from each building when you click. That's the tooltip. So yes, that is what those would do. But I don't have any buildings. Okay. I completed the refactoring for the data. Keep it separate from the model. If you've heard of the MVC, Model View Controller, model is your the actual data in your program. View is the interface, is what displays things from the model, and controller is what moves it around, is what controls both of these things. I don't generally split it up like that too rigidly. But I did separate the gear out because, let me close this, because the gear is something that we could probably change in the future. I anticipate that if we want like a balance pass, and I don't want to have to change the actual program itself. That's just like the game code, basically. So yeah, so that works. This works. What did we change? Nothing in there, nothing in there. Didn't change any of that. We fixed this part. And this is something we might eventually want to change to get the information from a command line argument, if one exists. But for now, it'll be that. Those are the game files. Don't mess with them. Don't change the name because it's relying on that. Okay, that's perfectly acceptable. If you go into any game or program or anything and you start changing file names, it's gonna break. That's how it works. I changed the width of the application. Certainly did. I changed this stuff to be based on a string because I'm using the number formatter because the numbers were getting way too large. That's all the same, that's all the same, blah blah blah, blah blah. I didn't touch any of that. Number formatter, I like that one. Formats a number very nicely. Maybe next time we'll add doc strings to these functions. Ooh. Didn't change any of this, change any of that. Update. I'm slightly procrastinating on adding these complex things like the golden cookie and the achievements. Yeah. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna. I swear it's gonna happen. Because they're kind of key things, especially the golden cookie. It's a big you want to click now feature. So yeah. Got that stuff out into a separate file, got that working, and we added some content and some formatting. That's pretty much it. So hopefully still entertaining, even though we didn't do any super fancy Python stuff, as far as I can tell, anyway. But later this week, I think will be fancy Python stuff with these other features that I've been mentioning. We're going to do that. It's going to happen. I will have to think about implementation and how I want it to look, etc. If you have suggestions, feel free to comment. But yeah, that's the stream for tonight. And thank you for joining me. I will see you next time, and have a good one.